but they're different colours, and stuff on it is different. Right? Different sign.
Will he be able to use this knowledge to conclude that they are in fact different signs? Stay tuned to find out. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome if you are new. I'm the Triggered Limey, and today we're taking a look at Brian's logic. Brian is another flat earther who continues to put out video after video about things that he just doesn't understand. Welcome to Wanker Wednesday.
Well, how are you doing? Okay, this is going to be a short little video, but it's going to be interesting to see what the answers are to this from our opposition on the globe side.
Logical, rational, based in reality. You know, all of these pauses and throat clearing are going to get very annoying. So I'll try to get rid of all of them as we go through, and we'll speed this up a bit as well.
Okay, this is about the Gleason Map being in opposition to the claim that we have a 24-hour Antarctic sun.
Which we do.
I don't know if we have a 24-hour Antarctic sun. I've never seen any evidence that supports it, but that's the claim, right?
Sure, it was probably a claim at some point, but after some people have actually been to Antarctica themselves, with some even recording it on video, I would say that we now have a conclusion that for several months of the year, Antarctica does get 24-hour daylight. And the reason that you and other flirfs like you don't know if we do have 24-hour sun there is because none of you will put in the effort of going to see it for yourselves. Book yourself a New Year's Antarctic cruise and ring in the new year in complete daylight. Then, hopefully, your tiny little minds will realize that 24-hour sun in Antarctica will not work on a flat Earth.
Now, obviously, we have a 24-hour Arctic sun. I've seen loads of evidence for that. But the claim is that we have a 24-hour Antarctic sun in the southern summer.
Wait, so you accept the fact that we also have 24-hour sun in the Arctic? Except you haven't been there either. So why do you accept that and not Antarctica's 24-hour sun? Could it be because the former is fine with your belief, while the latter just destroys it? You flirfs aren't a very honest bunch, are you?
So let's get on with it, right? The geographic South Pole is located at 90 degrees south latitude. The station accommodates up to 25 people during the austral summer. Temperatures there average minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit year round, right?
Right.
Right, here we are. Amundsen Scott South Pole Station. 90 degrees south, as you can see. 90 degrees south. Established 1957. Someone standing there. Here is the place behind them. NSF, the US National Science Foundation, welcomes you too, right? Next one. Now, take note, just as a sidebar, take note of the, not that it really matters, but it's interesting. It's funny. Take note of this sign. Look at the next one. Different sign.
Oh, well done you. It is a different sign. Congratulations. What's your point?
Right, geographic South Pole. Once again, American flag there. Can't really see this as well, but I wanted to show because it's a different sign. Now, I don't know how many signs they need around this supposed base they have, right? I mean, how many people are going there? Like, you know what I mean? Why would you need a different sign?
Seems pretty obvious, Treacle. One is a sign giving you the name of the station and other details, and indeed welcoming you to said station. The other is telling you where the geographic South Pole is. Maybe if you read the second sign, you would actually grasp that extremely obvious difference.
Now, maybe they're claiming they get blown over.
Who said anything about signs getting blown over? They're different signs, you moron. See, this is another problem with you truthers. You lack the ability to understand even the simplest of concepts, so you just make stuff up and call it gospel. I challenge any of you flat earthers to take a high school physics test, or if that's too much for you, which let's face it, it is, then go out and actually repeat some of the experiments that we use to demonstrate the globe. Maybe seeing them in action will help you use one of your remaining brain cells to actually see reality.
You know, but this looks like pretty much the same kind of sign, more or less, as that one.
More or less, they're completely different, as we've already established. What is it that makes you this daft? Obviously, you're just ignoring the words, so, well, and the colour of them. So is it just that they appear to be the same size and shape? Or is it because they both have a person standing next to them in the photo? Idiot.
But they're different colours.
Hell, even that should give you a clue. Sake.
And stuff on it is different, right?
Holy shit, he's only gonna notice the words. Come on, Brian, you can do it, I think.
So different sign. Well, where's a different sign? It's nearly like as if it's in two different places.
He's acting like this is the weirdest thing ever. Why wouldn't you put different signs in different places? And again, one is to identify the complex, whereas the other identifies the geographic South Pole. Now, this sign is relocated every year along with the marker of the geographic South Pole. And this is done because the ice sheet is moving at a rate of about 10 meters or 33 foot every year. Incidentally, a new marker is made every year which is designed by a winter over. This is the term used for the people staying there during Antarctica's winter. Each winter over is allowed to submit a design, and then the submissions are voted on to determine the winning design. Here's a picture to show you some of the previous designs from past years.
Anyway, we move on. Here is another sign, it's different again. Right, geographic board, Roald Amundsen, Robert F. Scott, right? Elevation 9,301 feet above sea level, blah blah. December 14, 1911, January 17, 1912. This is we arrived and were able to plant our flag at the geographical South Pole. The pole, yes, but under very different circumstances from those expected. I don't know what that means. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, here is a different sign.
Technically, you're right for once. It is a different sign. However, if you realised that it was the same design as this one, you would probably come to the conclusion that the newer one is its replacement. In fact, if you had done any real research whatsoever, you would have surely found this out. You might have ignored it, as a lot of flirts tend to do, or just denied it outright, but you would have at least found the details.
Now, maybe this is a sign purely dedicated to these two guys, Amundsen and Scott. Don't know if that's really true.
Since it has their names on, as well as a quote from each of them, I'd say that you're probably right. Though, arguably, you don't realise that.
But this is a sign, right? Again, another sign. Here is the, I think, Argentinian flag over here, and here we have the Japanese flag over here. And take note of this little white and red pole here in the background. I've seen this in other videos and stuff. I think that's where they have a compass supposedly on or something.
Actually, the red and white barber pole has a metal ball on top, and that marks the ceremonial South Pole. It also has a flag for each of the nations that originally signed the treaty. As you can see in this picture, they have been pretty close to each other in the past. However, as the South Pole marker is to be moved every year to stay accurate, the distance between them has increased over time. I believe that they are currently about 600 feet apart.
So here we are, same one again, but there's no Japanese flag and Argentinian flag, not in this photo, and that red and white pole is not seen, but it's the same sign. Now maybe they have two of them, right? I don't know why you'd need two of them. I mean, that is the place there. That's the only thing supposedly there. So why would you need two of them? And why would you need so far three different ones?
You wouldn't. Well, unless you wanted a sign at each entrance to the station. Regardless, as I've already explained, this is not the case here. And this, to any new viewers that have been lucky enough not to encounter a flirf before, is why it is so ironic when they tell people to do your own research.
Right, that's just a sidebar. Doesn't matter. It's just a funny little sidebar.
That funny little sidebar accounts for about a third of his video. Already, I'm not feeling very confident for whatever bollocks he's going to come out with next.
How many signs do you need for yourself, boy? But anyway, this is stupid.
I actually don't think it's the signs that are stupid, Sunshine.
But anyway, let's move on to Gleason, right? So, this is Gleason's June 24th solstice depiction, right? You can have a look at it here. Now, let's read what this says.
For sake, man, drink some water. You lot don't realise how many of these I've had to trim out. It's taken me bloody ages. So, obviously, I thought I'd leave this one in just so I could have a rant about it.
In the figures June and December, the white represents the sun's position in his respective months. At noon, this shows sunlight inside the Arctic Circle for 24 hours. From June 21st, the sun moves round the tropics in a spiral circle, widening every day till it reaches its destiny on the southern or outer solstice on December 21st. Outer solstice, you know what I mean? Its destiny widening every day, you know, in a spiral circle widening every day. Why did Gleason describe it this way?
Gee, I don't know, Brian. Was it maybe because he thought the Earth was flat, just like the lot of you, and tried to change reality to fit his belief? Just a thought, you bellend.
I mean, even though the map is claimed to be, and it is, from what I couldn't claim that all the continents and countries are correct on that map. The latitude and longitude grid is 100% correct.
But it's not really, is it, mate? You see, here in reality, the longitude lines spread out from the North Pole towards the equator, then start to get closer together again until they meet at the South Pole. Whereas on your fake flat map, they continue to get further and further apart south of the equator, thus distorting the Southern Hemisphere something fierce. And because of this, your Southern Hemisphere latitude lines are also way longer than they actually are in reality. I mean, this is the exact reason that flat earthers try so hard to say there are no Southern Hemisphere flights. And now, after so many of us have shown that there actually are, many of you are trying to say there's an extremely fast slipstream, jet stream, whatever, that basically more than doubles the speed of the plane to account for the time. It'd be pretty convenient, innit? Does this not show you, Brian, how flat earthers will try desperately to make things just fit in their tiny little minds. Even when we destroy your claims, you try to find another way to lie about it. Over here, everything works out fine, and we don't have to lie to try and make it that way.
It is exactly as it should be. But the positions of the land and the continents and countries, I don't think are correct. And I made a video about that some while ago, about longitudinal reassignment. But anyway, that doesn't matter because he is literally describing what the sun is doing.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
He is describing what he thinks the sun is doing. And he's getting it very wrong. I know I shouldn't be speaking in the present tense because, you know, he's dead and all, but that's just how my mind's working. Sorry. Anyway, in his model, you wouldn't get a 24-hour sun in Antarctica ever. Yet, we know that this actually happens for months. You lot are so scared of this, and that's why you haven't got the balls to go and see it for yourself. And even though people have actually captured this on video, you can find a load of them on YouTube, some going for days. You guys just scream that it's fake. Intellectual dishonesty at its finest.
Now, that is not what it does on a globe, is it? Right? It doesn't widen out. That's not what's happening. On a globe, I know that there is the 3 million mile difference between June 21st and December 21st, but that is not a widening out of a circle. Do you know what I mean? That's an elliptical orbit, and the circle stays the same because the sun is not moving in that depiction, in that scenario. It's the globe out is rotating and has to rotate a little bit more than a full rotation each day to for the start of the new solar noon or whatever, right? Because it sticks to sidereal time, sidereal rotation, which means that every year the globe is supposed to do 366 rotations for the 365 solar days.
It's actually closer to 366 and 1/4 rotations per year and takes approximately 365 and 1/4 days to complete one full orbit. This is why we have leap years. But fluffs don't ever seem to like accuracy too much, do they? They often drop off the decimal places. It's like they don't think they're important enough. Do you guys think that this just shows another way that they're scientifically inept, or is that just me?
Right, because it has to match which is a debunk of the globe anyway, because it has to match the sidereal rotation, which is the stars, the celestials, constellations.
Please do explain how that's a debunk of the globe. I love these flat earthers that say, oh, you know, we've debunked that already, or that's a debunk, and never explain themselves. It's like Oakley on Flat Earth Debates saying that him and his minions have already debunked the R value. I've never seen them explain it. Whereas here, in the real world, everything works as it should. You could do some real science and actually track this all yourself, but you won't. Can't risk having your bubble popped, can you? Waste of space.
Because they have to come back around to exactly where they started, which is a cycle, which, how does that fit as a heliocentric model? But anyway, this is all hilarious.
Nah, mate, what's hilarious is how you keep talking about shit that you just don't understand. Take celestial navigation, for example. You've done quite a lot of videos on that, and yet have no clue how it works.
I'll just read it one more time. In the figures, June and December, the white represents, this is the white here, right, represents the sun's position in his respective months. At noon, this shows sunlight inside the Arctic Circle, that's north, for 24 hours. From June 21st, the sun moves round the tropics in a spiral circle, widening every day until it reaches its destiny on the southern or outer solstice, right, on December 21st. Now, people can make what they want out of that, and they can say, well, he's only just describing it because that's the way the map is laid out and whatever. Make up whatever you want.
I'm starting to think that Brian doesn't realise that Gleason was a flat earther. Is Brian going to attempt to unknowingly debunk a fellow flirt?
But this is the main thing, right? Let's go to this. So this is the December solstice, right? Let's come down. Let's read what it says here. On December 21st, the sun moves around the Tropic of Capricorn and during the day lights up the southern portion of the Earth from the Arctic Circle to some portion on Antarctic ice, right? Sorry, from the Arctic Circle to some portion of Antarctic ice. Now, some portion of Antarctic ice. There is no sunlight beyond 80 degrees south, but unknown regions of ice, right? This is what he's claiming, right?
But we know that there is sunlight below 80 degrees south during the Antarctic summer months. So what's your point?
There is no sunlight beyond 80 degrees south, but unknown regions of ice. On the 3rd of December, that's 2 days later, just like on the 21st of June, right? There's a 3 day period on both solstices, or just after both solstices, where there is no change in the sun. The sun is the same position for 2 or 3 days. There's no change in its position over the Earth, right? On the 23rd of December, the sun commences his northward journey again. I don't know his. I know that the moon is kind of her and the sun is kind of his. That's the way it's always described. Returning to his starting place and thus completes his seasons, right? So once again, there is no sunlight beyond 80 degrees south. A portion of the Earth from the Arctic Circle to some portion of Antarctic ice. So this, on the 21st of December, the sun is lighting up part of the Arctic Circle and some portion of the Antarctic ice, right?
Even more evidence that Gleason didn't have much of a clue. December 21st, or the winter solstice, not only sees the Arctic with no sunlight, but is actually the darkest night for them. Editing Limey here. I should have said like the Arctic Circle and the Antarctic Circle. So we're basically looking at 65 degrees, 44 minutes to 90 degrees north or south. Now, the circles themselves won't be the absolute barrier due to refraction. Bearing in mind that the Arctic hasn't seen sunlight or twilight at this point since early October.
So there was no sunlight beyond 80 degrees south, right? Right. So let's just go back here. 90 degrees south, right? What a load of nonsense.
Wait, so your attempt to debunk the Antarctic 24-hour sun is a sentence from someone who, by their very definition as a flat earther, doesn't understand how reality works at all. You absolute moron. How do these idiots ever get through the day? This is by far one of the stupidest videos that I've ever gone up against, and there's still a couple more minutes left.
Here we are, 90 degrees south, right? Let's go again. Right, 90 degrees south, right? 90 degrees south, 90 degrees south. I mean, that's some floodlight they have.
And ironically, that's some lack of logic you have, Mr. Brian's Logic. I think you need to change your name, mate.
I even had a video I wanted to play as part of this, but it was National Geographic, and you know where they are. As soon as you play anything from them, they want to just strike you or cause your chat. Even though I'm not monetized, they still want to cause me a problem, especially if I'm detailing their lies, which is the only thing I could call it. Because either Gleason is completely wrong and his whole map is completely wrong, or they're a lot of liars.
Right, and forgetting just a moment how much you really want the Earth to be flat, which one would you think is more likely? A flat earther who admittedly made his map by flattening out the globe. Seriously, you can actually check out his patent application. A man who never went to Antarctica, that he was wrong, or that the hundreds of thousands of people that have experienced Antarctic summer, all of them are lying. Use your loaf, Brian.
Right, one or the other. So just to finish off, just want to show here, there is the two portions, right? So, right, let me just get this. I just change the color of it to maybe red, right? And I just want to match this one here, right? That's close enough, right? Now, I'm going to pull it over to here. And as you can see, the sun on the 21st of, I just want to try and match it up to that. The sun on the 21st of June covers a much bigger area, according to Gleason. I pointed this out years ago, right? I'm sure other people have. It's a common thing, but the sun on the 21st of June covers a much bigger area than on the 21st of December. Now, it is also claimed, right, if you look at something here, the sun here looks, right, smaller, and this one looks slightly bigger, right? It is also claimed that the sun is higher in the sky on June 21st, right? And lower in the sky on December 21st. So the sun, if it was higher, would cover a bigger area. It's like if you take a flashlight, I'm not saying the sun's a flashlight, I don't know what it is. If you take a flashlight and keep it close to the floor, it'll light up a smaller area. If you raise that up, the light will, the area the light covers is greater. There's a greater expansion.
Of course it bloody would, but can we address why the sun's light isn't more circular on this? Why do we see a round sun, but its area of sunlight looks more like a poxy kidney or something?
So is it that the sun, is he showing the sun smaller here because on June 21st the sun appears to be higher, and on December 21st it looks bigger because it appears to be lower? I don't know. I don't know what the sun is, but I mean, according to Gleason, this is what's going on. I can't say for definite that it is, but as you can see, the area that the sun covers is definitely a lot smaller on December 21st, because this is matching that.
Of course you can't say for definite, Brian, because Gleason, like you, had problems comprehending reality.
So that's the end of the video. It'll be interesting to see what what responses we get. This is always a hot topic. 24-hour Antarctic sun. What a joke. See you later. Thanks.
And after all that, you still call it a joke, when really all you need to do is go see it for yourself. What a pointless bloody video. Alright, I'm done. Now piss off, you beautiful bastards. Oh, but before you do, maybe watch this one next.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout, and fame.